Stopped for a little bit and I said, you want to like look at this because it seems like you're having some, feelings about it without sounding too, corny like I'm a therapist. And she broke down and she remembered some incident back in the avocado colors of that house, and it was like, we're not going there at all. And of course her lover was like, we don't need it, don't worry, we don't need to go anywhere near that. And moving from that, opening a fan deck, taking a pause. I mean, in that situation, I said, let's take a break. Let's go look at another room for him. When we left that situation, came back, said, okay, fresh, we're looking at this room. Let's look at this whole other line of colors. We started looking at coffees and other things like that, and boom. And then I figured, whatever work she was going to have to do with that was then later, and I'm gone, long gone. But it came up. It totally came up. And it has around very vibrant colors for people, too. Different ethnic backgrounds. Whether somebody's had an art, influence in the home before. I've had stuff come up like that a lot, where there are people that they had really intense colors in the home, and somebody else is a total white bread, and I've got to find a way for both of those people. Usually it's about accenting walls and finding things they're going to like, not that all the walls get painted the same color, which is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They think they have to find a color and every wall in the house has to go like that, or an entire room has to go like that. And with a lot of lesbian couples, they go, oh, we just love lavender. And they go, oh my God, rolling my eyes. I don't want to paint another lavender house. Yes, lavender is a beautiful color, but a lot of times what I like to do is try to break that up, like 2 walls in lavender, 2 other walls, like I said, in coffee color, or greens, or something else that they haven't thought about. Take them outside their box a little bit. Push it.
What do you do with those ones who are like so adamant with the heels and dug deep and they say, no, I want this color?
Well, usually they're not hiring me. I'm not even getting a phone call from people that have those personalities. Sometimes the partner can do that in the course of while we're talking, and then I just have to step back and say, you guys need to, you talk about this some more, and, have me come back. I've had people straight out start arguing as if I'm not there. They get all excited. I'm going, okay, you got to stop. I'm here. You take care of this some other time. You don't need to waste money on on this right now. You take care of this and call me back. That's happened too, very rarely. But usually somebody's not so dug in the ground, or I wouldn't be in their house. There's usually an openness that's going on there.
I'm just looking at your brochure, and I know the audience can't see it, but it looks like a regular brochure. You're a color consultant. You say it brings in color into your life and everything, but what I see in the brochure is not who I see in front of me, and who I see in front of me is somebody that's really, really sensitive to dynamics, to I don't know, sensitivities that people have that might set you apart from other color experts, And I think that gets lost. I'm not trying to, I don't know, tell you how to do your
brochure. But it's interesting you bring that up, because very few color consultants, first of all, even have brochures. And on my brochure on the back I have a small image, a picture of me, a portrait. Sometimes people call me and they'll say, I always ask people, I try to track where's my marketing. I'll say, how did you find out about me? Well, I saw your brochure. And I'll know that in that store, or wherever they saw, there's 3 other people that have their brochures there. I said, why did you pick me? And they said, I saw your face, you look friendly.
Yeah.
Oh. So I think it's like with anything. How are you going to, in a paper printed brochure, be able to tell whether somebody's got, it's like with anything, or any small business owner. We are selling our personalities as much as we're selling our skill or a service that we have to offer. If chemistry doesn't work with me on the phone with somebody, I'm not going to be in their house. And I get in their house, we see how much the chemistry works. A lot of times people are telling me things within minutes. And you would know as a psychotherapist, don't you, in your social life? Find that people are telling you stuff at parties and going, oh my God.
Like I got the stamp on my forehead, huh? You're right? Yeah, okay.
Diana gets people talking about their deepest and darkest, and she just meets them, at a party.
Well,
is that the same for you?
Same for me. Once I get into the house like that, especially if I'm going to be painting their bedroom.
That's a little intimate, I guess.
Hell, and in the 80s, when I was doing a lot of gay men's places in the Castro, we'd start out where the bedroom is the thing that they were gonna have painted or something. Now they're feeling friendly with the crew, everything's good and all good. Now they're like, yeah, they look at each other, we want them to do our basement. Oh, really? Yeah, there's a dungeon down there. Oh, those were
You're
fun days.
kidding! Oh my gosh, seriously?
Fun days. Oh yeah, whether or not it's gonna be a gloss black or a semi-gloss black. And and a black that's got a green or a blue tint to it. To go along with
I've
the
never heard of
sling
that
and the
before.
handcuffs
Just like-
and all the metal and the chrome and it was fun.
Oh my
I've done
word.
lots of dungeons in the city.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to move you guys off the dungeon.
Sorry,
It's an X-rated
never,
show
that
now.
just really took me aback. I just never heard that before. Oh my gosh, I
I'm just
know
looking.
I'm so naive.
I'm looking at Joey's brochure, and I just want to ask you a question about this. You say on it, I enjoy helping people discover new possibilities for their homes without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you do that?
Well, part of it is because I'm working, I come from a working class background, and I think that the whole idea of art and home decorating and interior design and everything has been something that people feel, I don't have that, I don't have that money, it's out of my realm or whatever. And doing finishes like I do, which involve multi-layers of paint sometimes, when you get into those decorative things, people tend to charge a lot of money for that stuff, and I like to kind of demystify it doesn't have to be that way. So if I go into a lesbian home, a gay couple's home, they've just bought a house, and they want to have a really nice dining room, or they want to do something really special, I'll say, well, okay, you just had to spend this much on lighting, I help them figure out, furnishings and stuff sometimes, but I don't want it to break the bank that if they really wanted to have a cool finish, or something look artistic on their walls, I will negotiate usually something with them. It might be that it's payments over time, but I just don't charge initially the same fees that a lot of people charge in the Bay Area, and they do it because they can, and a lot of times it's just greedy. So I try to work stuff out with people, and sometimes genuine, sort of old school. If there's something I can trade, I'll do it. You got a skill, you got something I can use, or whatever, I'll do that. But art,
Wanna
I
learn how
feel
to
is
drum?
See,
not
that's
in my purview because I'm using my hands for painting all the time.
I mean, that's what Cheryl was talking about earlier. That you picked up that
Mhm.
that generosity, that care, that
Mhm.
love coming from you. That's what
Well,
we
I
feel.
think art is something that it does affect us, even if we don't know it until it's right in our environments. And I'd love to be able to share what I've been able to get in my life and see if I can pass that on in some way.
So what would you advise people who are listening right now, or who might come onto our website in a month and listen to the show? What would you advise people to do if they're, answer it both ways, if they're in a couple and if they're single? Because there's some single people out there too. They do exist.
If they're interested in.
Yeah,
I'm one of them and very happy to be single.
Yeah, so what would you advise people to do if they're thinking about changing, decorating, remodeling, painting?
The very first thing is fall in love with either a photograph or really in real life some other place that you feel really good. Notice and pay attention to your body. If you go to a party sometime, whether it's over the holidays or the summer or you're somewhere, and that's on the interior. If you walk into a room, say it's people playing games in a dining room, a lot of people notice when they don't like an area. But notice what rooms, bedrooms, offices, facilities, whether it's a commercial place or somebody's home, what feels good, and especially if you're in a couple and you've wandered off and somebody's invited you to go down in the study, you know how people will go, come on down, Sheridan, come down and see this room with me. And you love that color, and Sheridan goes, oh, I hate being in here. And then you know, oh, okay, we are never going to have that color in our house. But those kinds of conversations, start the conversations if you're in a couple, if you're on your own and stuff, just notice how your body feels. If it's for exteriors and you're looking, you've got a house, whatever, and you can paint the outside, again, fall in love with somebody else's house, a place that looks a lot maybe like yours and in another neighborhood. And people love to be flattered with exterior colors. You leave a note, say, God, I love the colors of the outside of your house. Would you mind telling me? Leave your email address. People, I've never had anybody refuse to respond to that. They love having people tell them. But it's mostly about paying attention, like a lot that you two talk about on your show, is really kind of start paying attention to that, because all kinds of options open up. When you thought you needed to have a blue room, it might be that you end up with a coffee color room and something you hadn't even considered.
I like this woman, you know?
I know.
I mean, I really like what you're saying about connecting people to, their somatic experiencing.
Yeah.